Thanks everyone for attending the seminar today in webinar format from the convenience of your own home or office computer. And special thanks to our friends at Legacy Family Tree for producing this webinar. Now, in our previous webinar, we talked about using a blog to get the word out, whether it's about your ancestor, events that are happening in your local genealogy society, and things along that line. And blogging is the easiest way to push that information out to the rest of the world. As last time, this time we will continue, and we're talking about using a Google property known as blogger.com. And so those of you who are using WordPress, that's a more advanced, maybe has a few more options, but gee willikers, old Mert here has been pretty darn happy with my blogs going out using the software available on the internet that is provided at blogger.com. So just to recap, during the previous blog class that I gave, we learned exactly how to set up a blog. It takes less than 2 minutes. We learned how to add images. We learned how to save a blog post that you're working on in draft mode or to publish something later at a date and time you specify. We also learned a little bit about RSS feeds and using something like a Google Reader to pull in or aggregate the blogs that you subscribe to, usually for free. And then we talked about going to Genie Bloggers. There's a shout out for our friend Thomas McKenty. GenieBloggers.com is a great resource, and over 1,700 blogs are listed there. We're a pretty big lobbying group, if you ask me. So today we're going to do something else in the more blogging for beginners. In fact, we're going to be doing some live demos, and you'll get the handouts on the CD when you buy the CD version of the webinar. We're going to add and rearrange some gadgets, and I'm actually going to demonstrate this live. We're going to add Google's search box. We're going to fiddle around with the template designer, which means you can change your coloring, background, if the nav bar is going to be on the left or the right, things like that. We're also going to show you I guess it's just old Mert here. Old Mert here is going to show you what it looks like since I have connected my Amazon.com Associates affiliate into the Blogger console. It's really cool how that works. We're also going to show how to use Print Friendly, how to install it so that your readers will be able to print an individual blog posting if they really want to, without getting all that stuff from the nav bar. The other thing we're going to do is add a page, which in my case I've elected to have them appear as if tabs across the top of the page. This is going to be a direct answer to Shelley's question from Shabby, let's see, she's not from Shabby Blog, she's from A Sense of Family at Blogspot. We're going to talk about disclosure statements, backing up, and how to hide, which is effectively removing Blogger's search bar across the top. Now, most of the things we talk about this morning you will be able to find as an option within the console at blogger.com, such as the template designer. But there are a few things that we need to go outside the environment of blogger.com to find some code or to find the little widget to install, including the option Print Friendly. That's an example of going outside the Blogger console, grab something, and then plug it into your blog. And as I mentioned, where do we go for help? On the handouts you'll find that there are clickable links to every one of these blog resources that Thomas has compiled. Some of them he's written himself, others include resources, a page of links to other really super great places on the web. And if I want to learn how to use something never thought of using before on one of my DearMYRTLE blogs, I go see what Thomas has to say about it, because he's a pretty smart cookie. Now let's talk a little bit about your disclosure statement. taking a deep breath here. One of the interesting things about bloggers is that we've come into our own, not just genealogy bloggers, but bloggers in general. We're considered a news source. But it is also important for us to follow industry standards, and that is to explain any affiliate relationships we may have with other entities. In our case, as genealogy bloggers, with the genealogy websites we write about. Now, we may have a relationship, they may pay us to write for them, etc., but we need to establish that, and you'll see in this example that my disclosure statement is so important. I've added it to a tab, or in other words, Blogger calls it a page, but I think of those home, disclosure, lessons, organization, store, and virtual appearance pages as tabs that are always there at the top of my Dear Myrtle blog. So we're going to actually go out now, and I'm going to demonstrate some of the things that we've talked about. Let's take that last item, how to add a page, and don't worry, your screen's going black, don't panic. How to add a page and modify that page over here at Blogger. So what I've done is I'm at my genealogy blog, and this is pretty familiar looking. Whether you have one or more blogs, you go to blogger.com and log in. Now, in the case of Dear Myrtle's genealogy blog, we have already several pages. Notice that I'm on the posting tab, and now I'm at the new post. Just apparently it published a blog post, but if I go to edit pages, this is where we can either create or modify a previously created page. And this is where I can go to edit my disclosure statement. So if I click edit, it should come up in a minute. And if I need to change a word or two there, that would be appropriate. For instance, if I formed a new alliance or affiliate relationship with another website or genealogy book publishing company or anything, I can do that. But you'll want to go to blog.dearmyrtle.com because of this very last sentence on the page. I'd recommend that you read Thomas McKenty's Why You Even Need a Blogging Disclosure Statement. And that is where I found his link to a service that helps you, generate the policy statement or the disclosure statement. If you were to create a new a new page, all you have to do is click New Page. You're allowed up to 10. Now, Shelley, when we talk a little bit about pages, you'd remember if you only want 10 pages, it might be good to keep them very generalized. For instance, I do have a page for organization, meaning those monthly organization checklists. Let's let that res in, and you'll see, my gosh, I have to go get the February and March checklists and add them to this page. Why would I want them here? Because one of the most asked for blog postings are my monthly organization checklists. And rather than have them, let's go to my blog site itself, become relegated or lost in the side nav bar, I can bring them up to higher prominence by having them available right here on a tab on my blog. Okay, now we're going to go on to the next question here, or the next